Guys, hello everybody. Hello, welcome to a special PJ podcast, and this is one of the first ones we've ever done. But but this one is to celebrate Pride Month and also to showcase some amazing LGBTQIA creators from the Twitch Women's Guild as well on their experiences as creators and gamers on the platform. So we're going to be doing that today. But I'm very excited to showcase these amazing streamers to you guys. So if you with all I do, guys, we have the amazing Kattatonia. Now, if I'm saying anybody's name wrong, please correct me. But Kattatonia, Brandy, Jess, and Evils. And Katta, have I saying that right, by the way? Because I've actually always said that.
Kattatonia, yeah, I think you say it right.
Yeah, I was about to say. Well, you never know because my accent like butchers so many like names.
I love your accent. But yeah, I mean, you can call me Kat. Everybody does.
Cat sounds great. That sounds absolutely great. So we'll do exactly that. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining the PJ podcast today as well, and the Pride PJ podcast as well. To celebrate Pride Month, and all the creators here are part of the LGBTQ community. You can probably see we've all got little hearts beside our names, which represents which part of the community we're from. But what we're going to do first, we're going to each introduce ourselves, our channels, our pronouns, where you can find us, and what we generally do as creators ourselves. So, Kat, would you like to go first?
Sure, I'd love to. My name's Kat. I stream a lot of ESO. I have been kind of getting into 7 Days to Die lately, so we're kind of transitioning into a little bit of variety. What else? What else should I say? What would you like to know?
Your pronouns, and when you started gaming, basically, or what got you into gaming? Anything like that?
Oh gosh, I remember playing on Atari, so I've always loved video games. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm pansexual. I have a husband who I've been with for 10 years, so I think there's a lot of assumptions, like people don't really ask. But yeah, I'm pansexual.
And for anybody who doesn't know, maybe they're sort of like new to LGBT community, what would you like as an explanation? What would you say, like, you know, pansexual is like to yourself?
Gosh. It does not matter. It doesn't have any bearing on whether I'm attracted to somebody. Their sex. It has absolutely no bearing to me. It's about the person, who they are.
That's a lovely explanation and very, very simple to get as well. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. And by the way, thank you for joining as well. So I understand why you're transitioning to 7 Days to Die. It's a really good game. It's really, really good, isn't it?
God, it's so fun.
Very addicting. I'm not gonna lie. Very addicting. Plus there's a load of mods for it as well. Like a load of mods.
You cannot get bored with that game.
No, you can't. No, you freaking can't. Brandy, would you like to introduce yourself, your channel, what games you play, like how you got into gaming and streaming, anything like that, and anything you want to share?
Hi, I'm Brandy. I go by she, her pronouns. I am demisexual, so that is on the asexual spectrum. The meaning to me is more, it's hard for me to have like physical connection with somebody until I have an emotional connection built with them. But it also borderlines with I love everybody, but I don't want anyone to touch me ever. Except my husband. That's it. He's the one exception. So that's kind of where I lie, because I'm also it's been a little bit of a question mark for me because I feel like I'm pan, but at the same time I'm more on the asexual spectrum of not super being attracted to people in general, but I'm attracted to personalities. So yeah, it's a spectrum and we're all on it and I love it. But aside from that, I've been streaming for 9 years, so I've been on Twitch for forever, it feels like. And I've been gaming since I was little. My dad got me into gaming when I was super young, and it was something I always just was really passionate about, and I shared that with my siblings. And I would always like play games and commentate them to my siblings as they watched. So streaming was just kind of like an extension of that. I play a lot of horror games, like my bread and butter, but I also play so much variety. I honestly will delve into everything. I love trying out all different types of games. And
there is one other thing. I think see what mic are you using, by the way?
The HyperX something or other. I don't.
Oh, very nice.
I'm spacing on the name of it. My husband got it for me recently.
I'm sure Quadcast.
I don't remember the first. Yeah, that's what it is. The Quadcast. Yeah. Oh, it's so nice. I love the like color changing.
I seen the RGB and I was like, "What is that? Is that a Quadcast?"
Nice.
I was like,
"That was your attention."
Yeah, I was like, "It's do you know what? Perfect on point with Pride Month, considering it's like rotating."
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Perfect, freaking perfect." Also, I can see all the Wumpus in the background as well. Oh my god!
Oh, I've got so many. Yeah, I'm partnered with Discord, so I have like so much Discord stuff back here. But I love my Wumpus.
Collect it. Yeah, Wumpus is so cute, man. It's so freaking cute. Thank you so much for sharing. And what we'll do is then we will, Jess, would you like to go next on introduce yourself, your channel, pronouns, what part of the LGBTQ community you're from?
Absolutely. So my name is Jess Rappaport. I am the owner of Zelda Universe and the founder of Zelda Wiki, two of the largest Legend of Zelda fan communities online. And I started streaming on Twitch last year, only about 10 months ago, after I came out publicly and started deciding that I wanted to use the platform that I had with Zelda Universe to just promote trans rights and trans inclusivity, because I'm a very proud transgender woman. So my pronouns are she, her. And yeah, on my personal channel, I love doing cozy streams. I love just building an inclusive community and a welcoming community that can give people the support that I've had as a trans woman, which I think most trans people don't have like ready access to, just other people and a strong support network. And I think support is the most important thing you can have when you're transitioning to have a successful transition. So I've kind of made it my personal mission to, if I have these skills in building a community like Zelda Universe, I want to put those skills to use building a community for trans people and a safe space for trans people. So, and of course, all allies and LGBT folk. So in addition to that, I'm also a lesbian. So I like women, and yeah, that's the brief intro to me.
And you forgot to mention massive tech nerd as well, because we had a conversation about tech. Like literally, that's how we met.
Huge tech nerd. Like I have so much retro tech. Like if you guys need evidence of my retro tech street cred, here we go. Readily accessible at a moment's notice. Every iPod Nano you've ever wanted. Would you like one? I love old tech. I just love technology. This is my original iPod from 8th grade, 2003.
That's amazing that you've kept them and it works.
And it's loaded with music from 2021. I last loaded my entire music library onto it. Persona 5, jam out to that with my HD 58 580Xs. Those are so good.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing that you've kept them in good condition and they're working. As I've seen, also the cats. Aww.
Clover, this is Clover. I have 3 cats, Finn, Mango, and Clover. Clover's here. Clover loves Cheez-Its. I feel like Cheez-Its on my streams, and Clover especially knows that when I sit down in this chair, it means she could get fed. Finn likes to climb on my very nice monitor. Now, I have just one of the ultra-wide monitors that Queenie has, and my cat loves to climb on it, and it causes my entire camera to shake. I know, it's terrifying, right? And yet, it's become a stream feature.
I would so
And then
panic.
my last is Mango, who's a big chonkin white and orange boy, and he'll lumber over at some point.
Oh, well, we'll keep an eye out and see when we spot them. Somebody's gonna say in chat like, "Oh my god, the cat's there! The cat! There's another one!" It's gonna be a little game. Spot which cat we get to see first.
If Finn comes over, I blow bubbles for Finn, and he swats at them.
Oh,
so I'll do
cute.
that if he comes over.
And of course, finally, as well, Evils, would you like to introduce yourself, your channel, where to find you, your pronouns, and what part of the LGBT community you identify with, or part of the community you're from?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Evils. I am a lesbian, she, her pronouns. I started streaming pretty recently, about 10 months ago also. I think my anniversary is in August. So I mostly stream Soulsborne games lately, specifically Elden Ring, of course, but I I really enjoy the challenge, and I just like the community with the Soulsborne community, and I think it's really a fun watch for people who love Soulsborne games because they just want to see somebody experience it for the first time again. It's their favorite game. Everybody who plays a Soulsborne game has a favorite Soulsborne game. So it's a really, really lovely community and one that I feel welcomed in. I also have a cat. Let's just bring him up here. Just get it out of the way. This is Gonzo. I actually have 3 cats, but this is Gonzo, and he's the love of my life. He's a little baby. He's been napping in my lap, but you guys are probably going to see him run around in the background shortly. That rug on the wall there, my community got for him because he likes to climb things, so he just gets the zoomies and he goes vertical over there. So maybe you'll see that. Maybe I've worn him out successfully so that he's going to not be a nuisance tonight, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm a massive Zelda fan. Big Zelda fan. Big fan of the Zelda Universe projects. Huge.
Hell
So
yeah.
I
Aw,
do play
that's
some
awesome.
Zelda on stream. I'm like trying to learn the Breath of the Wild speedrun, but right now Elden Ring just has me in its talons. So
Oh, I can see
Yeah.
the shield in the background as well. I can actually see is it plushie?
yes, it's a plushie. Hyrule Shield. Yeah, thank you. I love it.
My God, I love
And that's the
that.
seal. That's Patricia. Yeah, that's the Patricia plushie from Breath of the Wild. So
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
sweet. Oh, we got 2 Zelda fans then. Look at that. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah. As well as an owner of, sorry, say that again, Jess. So it was like it's like a wiki, is it, for Zelda?
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Zelda Wiki. So yeah, it's literally the like if you search Zelda Wiki, there's a couple forks of it. There's the one that's independent is the one I currently operate. But boy, there's been a storied history behind Zelda Wiki. But if you've been to a site that's called Zelda Wiki, any one of them, I've definitely been a part of that. And it started in 2005 as a Zelda Universe side project, and eventually just kind of ballooned out into this massive like multi-site project where every Zelda fan site was involved, and we had a secret cartel of Zelda fan sites. This is lore. And then eventually it just kind of became its own independent thing. Zelda Wiki, yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's absolutely freaking amazing. Do you know what honestly, like for a lot of the wikis as well, they've saved people so much time. It's unbelievable the amount that goes into those pages and the detail and everything else. Now I haven't played too much Zelda in my time, but I have played a bit of it, but I can't remember the exact version that I played. 1998.
1990 might have been like Zelda 2. Was
Could
it on the
be.
NES?
No,
You think?
Game Boy
No.
Advance maybe. Game Boy
If
Color.
it was in the 90s, you probably played Link's Awakening, I think.
Yeah, I think that would have been it. Because I played 2, but I don't remember the second one either. But it was a long time ago, and I haven't played one since. And that sounds really bad of me. Now that I know that you now like have that website, I'm like, God, I gotta go play it now. That's it. The pressure's on.
Breath of the Wild
the
is definitely
news.
worth if you haven't picked up and played Breath of the Wild at all.
I have a Switch
highly
now,
recommend it.
so I can do that.
I really recommend Breath of the Wild. I recommend it even over Tears of the Kingdom, personally. That's just my personal opinion.
that's the right opinion usually. So
So, also now that we have 2 people who have cats, Cat, you must have a cat with the name Cat.
Believe it or not, I don't. I used to have cats. We have 2 dogs. 2 dogs.
No way! Oh my God,
Yeah.
Brandy, what about you? Dog or cat or something else?
I have dogs at my parents' house, but I cannot have pets at my current apartment. So until my husband and I get a house, we don't have any
Oh.
pets. But we've already decided that I get to pick out the dog and name the dog, and he gets to pick out the cat and name the cat.
Aw.
That's fair. That's pretty fair. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. I think we have a little pug, and what we did with him was we named him after a Twitch vote like 9 years ago. And it was very close to being named Alfie, his name is now, but he was very close to being named Zucchini. Thank God he didn't, because that was Blue's choice, and mine was Alfie, and I was like, "Don't you name him that?" And thankfully, he got named
Alfie's
Alfie.
like Undertale Alfies.
Yeah. Oh, well, like just
Oh.
Alfie, I think.
Wow, another queer character.
Did you
There we
know?
go.
Did you know that my phone's name is Alphys?
Oh, really?
Now I mentioned I love tech. All of my tech devices are named after Undertale characters. Every single one, even my watch.
Oh, very nice. In fact, you've named them all there. That's a lot of names to remember.
Right.
Yeah.
This one's name is Chris because it's like Frisk, but it's gold. Frisk would be the silver one because Frisk is normal, but this one's a little different. So it's Chris, the alternate version of Frisk from
Wait.
Deltarune.
What is it?
I
It's
love
it's a
that.
I put
watch.
thought into this. I put too much thought into what I name my yes, the name of the watch.
Is it an Apple Watch?
It's an Apple Watch.
I knew it
It's
was
out
gonna
of
be an Apple
battery, so
Watch
I'm wearing
with
it for
you.
fashion right now.
I literally knew it was going to be an Apple Watch. The conversation we had last time about Macs and stuff, I was like, it's going to be an Apple Watch. It's going to be one instantly.
Well, if I pulled out a tray of iPod Nanos,
That's true, actually. Yeah. That's a good point. Well, what we'll do
I'm a
then?
veritable Apple store. People used to describe walking into my apartment as walking into an Apple store.
That wouldn't surprise me. And you still get your Macs as well, like your iMacs. So you,
And now I've got a big honking Windows streaming setup. No one can question that all
Exactly.
tech is my children's.
yeah, perfect. Like, well, to be fair, at least you've got experience with both. So like, can't really say you're biased, technically.
That's what I mean. Is look at this little asshole. People used to be like, "You're such an Apple fangirl," but no, I just love all the best tech. And for a while, other companies weren't making good tech, but everyone's stepped up their game now.
Yeah, well, I'll agree with you with the iPods. I'll agree with the iPods. Nobody beat them. Nobody beat them in that 100%.
Nobody. Not even close.
Not a
Not even
single
close.
soul. They had the market share by a big time with that. Well, do you know what? We're gonna get sidetracked and we'll start talking about tech. This is exactly what happened the last time. There was me, Jess, and two other people came in, and they were coming in just to like generally chatting it, and we were just sitting there talking about tech to the point where somebody's like, "Oh yeah, I don't know what to say on this." So yeah, no, we're tech. We'll not get into tech discussion. So what we'll do, what we'll do then. So if you haven't been to none of you guys have been to this podcast before, have you? No. Yeah, this is everybody's first time. So generally, it's a very chilled and open podcast. What I'll do is I'll just steer the conversation towards like a certain question when I think we're sort of done towards it. But I'll sort of go around and see if everybody can like answer it. But generally, the PG podcast is pretty chill. So what I wanted to ask everybody is, what do you love about gaming and the LGBTQ community in general in gaming? So like, for example, being a creator, I think in the space is interesting. But I think, in my opinion, it's definitely grown the last couple of years where, more people feel comfy enough to be themselves, come out as an LGBTQ creator. And, I think the gaming, while we've got a long way to go, I think it's becoming a lot more acceptable, a lot more sweet, and a lot more like, oh, we've got, all different types of people out there. So if you want to answer this question, you want to go ahead, Evils, on sort of what do you love about gaming and the LGBT community within gaming?
So something I've noticed, I got into streaming pretty recently, and I also got into gaming kind of recently. I played a lot of Zelda when I was younger, but I never really went outside of that. So most of the gaming experience I have is pretty recent stuff. But as far as media portrayal or mainstream media portrayal of like queer undertones or queer characters, queer relationships, I think that it's really important in like movies and books. There's so much story to be told that's centered around, being gay or something. But with video games, I feel like it's kind of just, it's more like real life. Like the gay characters in video games are just characters who are gay. It's not a lot of gaming isn't necessarily using queerness as a plot device, which I just find really refreshing. Just really, I remember playing Witcher 3, and there's this one part in dialogue when you're playing as Ciri, and I'm sorry for everybody's cell phone if you heard that. Anyway, there's one part where you're playing as her, and somebody asks her if she's interested in male character, and there's an option to just say, no, that's not really like my type. I like women, and it was just so like nonchalant, and she's not like a romanceable, like you don't play as somebody who romances anybody in Witcher 3, at least not as Ciri, but I just, that was such a weird feeling that I got from getting that, like just having the ability to use that in dialogue, and it doesn't change anything. It wasn't a big deal. It was just like, oh yeah, you're represented here too. I don't know. There's a lot to be said, and I'm excited to hear what everybody else has to say, because again, I'm so new in the gaming community. So
Wait, how long have you been gaming for?
oh gosh, I got into it in like COVID. Yeah, bought a Switch, and I just played Undertale. That was a huge rabbit hole that I went down, and then Witcher 3 was probably the next big one. I played Hellblade, and then I was like, you know what? I'm ready for some big kid games, and I started playing Dark Souls 3 and cried a bunch, but it's fun. So.
Oh heck yeah! I didn't know you were so new to the gaming world. Oh my god! Well, yeah, welcome. I hope they've treated you well. I can't speak for everybody, considering gaming is insane on occasions. But like, yeah, oh my god, yeah, welcome in.
Yeah,
starting on Switch is actually a really good idea. I'm not gonna lie. It's where like I think a lot of sort of people now start. Like getting into gaming is like a handheld console or something small that their parents have sort of got them, because it is sort of the cheapest option. And then after that, people are like, okay, what else is there? What else can I check out? What, let's have a look and see. And then generally they'll go to like an Xbox, PlayStation, or a PC, one of the three. Do you do Switch, PC as well?
Yes, mainly I play on PC now. I got a PlayStation 4 sometime like 2-3 years ago, because I wanted to play the Souls games, and I knew that Bloodborne was only on PlayStation anyway, so I was like, I might as well just get one of these. And my friend was selling his old one for really cheap, and he gave me all of the Souls games with that. But now I play on PC. I built a PC. I realized I like gaming so much that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go all in on this. And it's really the only hobby that I've stuck with for such a consistent amount of time, and it just hasn't wavered. There's no sign of it going away anytime soon, so I'm going full force.
Heck yeah, I mean, it's a great hobby to have, to be honest, because like there's so much to do, but there's so many like different realities, different worlds, different sort of escapes in a way. And gaming is fantastic. I think like back a long time ago, it was seen very nerdy, and I think now it's just not the case. Like ever since COVID as well, everybody's a gamer. There's no such thing as somebody who doesn't game, even if they say, oh, I don't like the term, they don't call themselves a gamer. They play something. They play on their phone. They'll play some type of console. They can try and deny it, but they play something and even back to the Facebook games that everybody used to play, like Farmville and stuff. It's still
Candy
technically
Crush.
gaming. Oh yeah, Candy Crush too. Yeah, that's true as well. What we'll do then, Jess, would you like to go ahead with that one?
Yeah, sure. Oh my gosh, I started gaming. I mean, when I was like 3 years old, I feel like. When my dad got me a Sega Genesis and we played Sonic 3 together, and that was my first video game. Like, I mean, ever since then, video games have been a very consistent part of the most consistent media form in my life. And I didn't even mention, but this is actually my 20th year, my 20th anniversary running Zelda Universe. So like I've been in the industry. I've literally been in the gaming industry now for 20 years. Beyond just playing video games for 20 years. I think like one of the most interesting things has been like hearing about the different gaming experiences that I had growing up as a cis man, pre-transition, and then being exposed to video games that way, and now talking to a lot of my cisgender women friends, and realizing that they had very, very different experiences growing up with gaming and their interaction with gaming. And one of my goals too now is to kind of open up gaming to more people and make people realize that they can, it's not just certain categories of games that are fun, but so many different types of games are fun. And hopefully, the industry is slowly moving in a more inclusive direction. Like when I think of great LGBTQ games, like I think of Undertale, I think of Celeste, two games that I really, really love. I think liking Celeste is part of your trans qualification exam. To get your ID card, you have to play Celeste. You have to learn how to double jump. That's the first thing. That's your first lesson. It's true. And the thing that I also love, just also having run an LGBT friendly community for 20 years, I'm just a strong ally, and I think the thing that I love the most is the support, is the fact that these games bring people together, and LGBT people, I think, tend to form amazing communities with each other, and tend to become very close with each other on those communities, especially online. And I think that makes those communities particularly awesome. They also create a lot of media, in particular, like really beautiful media. And one of the things that I love the most about games and the things that games create is that emotional connection and that emotional experience that you get from video games. The first Zelda game that I ever beat, the one that got me to join Zelda Universe in the first place and be a part of the gaming industry, was The Wind Waker. And honestly, like, I consider The Wind Waker to be, like, as far as gameplay is concerned, not the best Zelda game. Honestly, I think, like, as far as like dungeons and actual Zelda game, Twilight Princess is probably peak like regular classic 3D Zelda. And then I would say Breath of the Wild is peak modern Zelda. But The Wind Waker has that emotion in it that just absolutely captured my imagination as a kid. And there were so many little emotional bits and little animation tweaks that they removed in Twilight Princess, even though it uses the same engine, that made it lose a lot of that emotional connection for me. And that made my first playthrough of Twilight Princess as a kid a lot less fun than Wind Waker. Like Wind Waker made me go bananas, and that's what I love. Undertale, which I would actually say Undertale is my favorite game of all time, even above any Zelda game, and that's because that game makes me bawl my eyes out. It's beautiful, and the message that it has about how we interact with media and our role in it is really strong. Plus, it's got awesome LGBT characters. So I think like that for me is like peak. Undertale is peak. Very excited for Deltarune. Yeah, that's what I love about gaming.
Yeah, I think you've unpacked a lot there, and actually, it's really good points, because like there is obviously a lot to gaming. Like, it does help you see through a lot of other people's eyes as well. Like, for example, somebody actually mentioned in chat, which is a really good point, is the Life is Strange series as well. I don't know if you've played any of them, but
I've tried out Life is Strange a little bit. I've been told I really need to play that series, and that it's very gay.
Oh yeah, very like it's every
it's gay,
one is different. Definitely, you get to see through different characters' eyes. It will break your heart. Yeah, there's like.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, then that's my kind of game. Give me the heartbreaking games.
Yeah,
give me the ones with the feels.
Oh, it's definitely. It's like, yeah, every single one of them is like a different person's perspective. The last one was very, very sad that happened. True Colors, I think that's the name of it. And I think you play as like a pansexual or bisexual character. So basically, there's a couple people you can sort of like, go towards, or the story is like loads of different endings you can go towards, type of thing. But it is very heartbreaking. You learn about this person's story and what's happened and stuff. And I think it's one of those things where it definitely sort of hits you in the feels, and it's very much towards like sort of like very inclusive. But at the same time, they give you multiple endings on how it could go for you, type of thing. So like, yeah, you choose your own path. And that can be either a very sorrow path or a very, happy one. And it's an interesting one. I do love the story type games like that give you different perspectives, different endings, different realities on how it could all end up because of what you've done. I really
That's my
really
favorite
good.
in games.
Yeah.
That's what people told me that I needed to play. Oh, what was it? People told me I needed to play Baldur's Gate for that reason, but I
Ah,
found
yes.
Baldur's Gate a little bit too technically involved
Hmm.
for my tastes. But I love games where the things that you do have a real impact on the things that happen, which, like the only game that I know that does that at the level that I would want is Undertale, which is why it's my favorite game. I've never seen like another game actually go off and really do that, where it's like I don't want to spoil it even for anyone who hasn't played it, but like god damn, that game goes hard.
Yep.
And like I would love to see something more casual like that, where just that kind of game, but if a AAA studio kind of took that and ran with it, but it wasn't so technically involved, I would love that.
Yeah, I think Baldur's Gate takes a wee while to get into. I mean, I don't play D&D or anything like that. But I play Baldur's Gate, although I think I majority of what I did was anger the Baldur's Gate community for all the stuff that I did, because I killed all their favorite characters by mistake. I didn't intentionally do it. Oh, well, I tried to kill one of them, but the rest of them was just, when you have multiple options and you pick the wrong one thinking, okay, I didn't really anger them. No, I angered everybody by mistake thinking I was making them happy.
Playing Baldur's Gate for me, since I don't know anything about D&D and I don't know anything I'm doing, it's just it feels like I'm making mistake after mistake and I'm like missing thing after thing, and it feels like nothing is explained, and yet there's gratuitous tutorial bubbles, and yet I still know nothing. I know nothing.
Relatable.
Yeah. 100% relatable on that one. Yeah, I get it. Everybody is dead on my save, like literally everybody, and I didn't realize.
Like I'm save scumming to figure this out.
Let's just say, like everything you do, including even if you rob something that's really expensive, could actually get everybody killed, and I didn't realize that. So, yeah,
it's good. That's a nightmare for a loot goblin like me.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god.
No.
Goblin.
You learn the hard way. Let's say it that way. You learn not to touch things unless you want everybody to die. So, yeah, not the best, but it is a good game. But I get what you mean. It is a bit like it can be a bit over the top for quite a few people, like who just want a chill game, something easier to get into. Completely get it. And what we'll do is, Brandy, would you like to go ahead? What do you love about gaming and the LGBT community?
I have been gaming since like as far back as I can remember, honestly. I started on the Sega Genesis as well, and then PlayStation 1, and I played a mix of everything, which is still how I am. I am all over. I love story-driven games, so like we were talking like the Strange, I really love that series, and a lot of things where you get to make the decisions that impact the way that like the game unfolds. I love those types of games, and then like I said, I love horror, but I like horror where you're actually invested in the story. I'm not a big fan of just jump scares for the sake of jump scares, and that is what brings the horror element. I like it more when you feel immersed in it and you feel like there's actual stakes riding on what you're doing within the game, so you get invested. But in terms of gaming, that's like all of the stuff that I like. And something that in terms of like the LGBTQIA and how it is included in gaming, kind of going off of what Evils was saying with how using people being gay or trans or something like that in a game is not this like jaw-dropping like, oh my god, this character is this. It's like I feel like there's too many shows where they can't figure out what they want to do next, so they just randomly make a character gay and then like change the whole storyline, and that's the next plot line, and it's like, wait, what? Why are we dropping this for the sake of it being a jaw-dropping thing? Why can't people just be who they are, and that's normal and natural, and it's not something that's weird? And I feel like games do a good way of like, it's just entwined, and it's not something that is some crazy piece of the game that makes it jaw-dropping for whatever reason. I think something, total side note from that, but something I always liked was playing games like Mass Effect and Fallout, how there's mixtures of like romancing different characters, but also mixtures of having companions within a game, which could be romancing them. And I always played I don't know if this says something about me, but I always played as a male character, but I wanted to romance the other males. I don't know why, but that was like my unintentional like motivation whenever I played games. And one of the things I remember being like a big impact for me when I played Fallout 4 originally, back when it first came out, you could kind of like flirt and romance your companions in the game. And I remember being with Paladin Dance, if anyone ever played Fallout 4. And I remember there was like a certain line where he was flirting with me, and I was like not sure how to address it. And then I accidentally clicked something that was like not to flirt back with him, and he got very upset with that. And my entire storyline changed because I accidentally shut him down. And then, like, if you've played Fallout 4, I won't spoil it, but if you choose to not go that direction, it gets very sad and very dark very quickly because he feels like ostracized. And the whole rest of my playthrough, I was like, oh my god, what have I done? Like, it totally impacted so much of how I viewed things. But at the same time, there are so many games that don't give you the option to like build those connections with other characters without it being like, you know, some part of the plot or some plot hole. So I like that, like, those things are interwoven, and it allows you to kind of play how you want and express yourself how you want to within the games. So I love that so many games give those options without it necessarily needing to be some big deal. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good point, actually. There's a load of games that was like, just like, if there's datables or if there's an ending that's a datable, there's multiple choices there. You're gonna get like, you know, you could end up with this person, this person, this person. It doesn't really like there's just a multiple endings of that if you're gonna end up with somebody. But there's loads of endings that, you know, you don't end up with anybody. You just either, you know, it could be a horrible ending where, you know, your character's dead in the end, or it could be something else. Like, it could be anything, who knows, and everybody's standing over, you know, that, or you wake up in a hospital or whatever. I think Cyberpunk's an example of that, where you really don't know what's going to happen at that point, because there's multiple endings. But yeah, Cyberpunk did similar to what you're saying, and I thought it was pretty cool to do that. It's like, yeah, the character flirts with you, and then it's like, oh, okay, I see. Okay, so this is a dateable. Like, it doesn't just go out and say, you know, like, oh, you know, I'm gay, or you know, I'm straight or bi or whatever. Like, they don't do anything like that. It's just like, it's sort of there. It's like hinted at it, and then you either go down that storyline or you don't. Like, it's up to you. It's quite nice. I definitely agree. Like, games do it very well compared to a lot of film. It's sort of getting there, though. Yeah, it's slowly getting there. Film, isn't it?
I feel like they need to, like, shows and movies. I think back to like my favorite show of all time is this show Greek, which is probably nobody's ever heard of it, but it was a show that was on like ABC Family back when I was in like middle school. It was about a bunch of people in like fraternities and sororities, but
didn't it get canceled or something?
Well, it went 5 seasons and then they graduated, so it ended. But it's like my favorite show of all time. I've watched it a million times, and I look back on it now because one of the main characters in the show is gay. And looking back on it now, because it came out in the early 2000s, there are so many like, oh my god, he's gay, and everyone is like weird about it at first. And I'm just thinking of it, watching it now again, where I'm like, why is everyone so weird? Like, why are we being weird about this? Like, I get at that time, it definitely was more, you know, not as open as we are today, as opposed to watching things today. And then I'll see shows and movies come out today doing the same thing. And I'm like, but we've evolved as people. Why are we still having this same reaction to things? Like 20, 30 years past. Like the show that I'm talking about came out in like 2007, 2006. So much different time than 2024. This should not be so weird, or people think it's weird, I guess is the better word choice. People should not be acting like that. Like, people are just people. Why are we making a big deal out of stuff? I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like, that's why a lot of movie and movie adaptations are happening of games. And you can see it more and more. Obviously, Fallout was one of the ones that got adapted recently and did really well. I'm trying to think what else we've got. We've got quite a few that are coming out. Last of Us 2 as well, yeah.
So good.
There's a couple more coming out. This Amazon has actually bought, funny enough, they've bought quite a few games the rights to a whole load of games, and you're like,
Oh, they're
you
doing
can
the
see why.
Borderlands movie.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
I don't know if that one's gonna go well.
That one looks funny.
That's an interesting. That's a really weird
Yeah.
cast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, for I was really hoping they'd have the original voice actor for
Claptrap.
Clapping?
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
didn't.
Claptrap, yeah.
And I'm
that's
like, no, don't have the original voice actors. Have the original voice
Yeah.
actor for it. Though I don't know too much about that voice actor in general. Like, so I don't know why he hasn't agreed to it. Maybe there's some reason, but I was like, no. But it's an interesting cast. I don't know how that's gonna go. Yeah, Kate. Yeah, chat are saying Kate Blanchett as well. Yeah, I don't know why either. But that's another adaptation. Which, you know, fingers crossed it goes well. But who knows? But I mean. Again, like it's getting there. And also somebody asked, did they ever make a Halo movie? I don't know. I don't know if anybody's a fan of Halo.
I know there's a Halo TV show. I've never played Halo, but my husband hates it because I guess Chief like takes his helmet off, and that's like very non-canon to the games.
Oh
So he's like, I am not watching this. I don't like this. I'm like, okay.
the ruined canon, no. And of course we've got Warhammer coming up, don't we? Which is sort of based on the games. I don't know which one it is, but Warhammer's coming up with a movie or series. Not really sure. I don't think they've said, but that's coming out too. It's not spoilers. Don't worry. It's not really a spoiler because I'm sure you'll see like reviews on that.
Oh,
So-
I've never watched it. That's just what I've heard from the internet. So
that's the angry side of it that with the reviews as well. Yeah, I've heard weird things about that one too. I agree. And also, Kat, would you like to go next as well?
Sure. I don't really know what I could say that hasn't already been kind of stated. I feel like I've always been in my own little gaming bubble. I love multiplayer games. I always have. When they came out with MUDs, way back when, I think it was like early to mid 90s, I was playing MUDs. And I felt like that was a way where I could be comfortable with who I am and introduce myself to people and meet people. I don't feel like IRL, I'm a very social person, but in games, I really am. I'm very much a social person. I love meeting people, hanging out with people, gaming with people, doing things, you know. So I've always kind of sought out the multiplayer games. So I've never played what is it called? The Last of Us?
Mhm.
I've had so many people suggest that to me. I just don't play a lot of single player games, so I feel like I don't have as much experience in the single player games as most people do. I've always been in my happy little bubble, but in multiplayer games, especially on Twitch, you know, you meet a lot of people, and they usually tend to be like-minded people. My sexuality is just a small part of who I am. So when I stream, we usually are talking about the game. Obviously, if people want to talk about that, that's totally cool. But it's not central to what we conversate about. You know what I mean? We're usually talking about the game, but I'm very, very serious about no turds are allowed. You know what I mean? Like if you're a party pooper and you're gonna say negative crap, just go somewhere else. So it's been, I guess maybe I've been lucky. The community that I've met, especially on Twitch, has just been amazing and supportive and very much like all of us, you know. They don't ostracize or make you feel bad. My whole life I've been a weirdo. I've always been a weirdo. I'm awkward socially. I'm very opinionated. It's like you attract the kind of people that you are, you know, and I attract, I guess, a lot of the people who are kind and don't try to make you feel like crap for your preferences or your opinions. I've had really good experiences, but as far as distinguishing the different types of communities in gaming, I play multiplayer games mostly, so I feel like all of my experiences have been really, really great around that in every game that I've played. But I don't think there's I definitely believe that there the nice folks and then the not nice folks.
Hmm.
And I've just been fortunate enough to be around the nice folks.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you're probably similar to me then, because I play mostly multiplayer then, more than single player. Single player is very rare for me. I'll play them if there's a reason for it, you know, like if somebody is like, hey, Ro, go and play, you know, this play game. I mean, I don't even play horrors too much unless I get bullied into it. You know, like Alien Isolation, gotta say, fantastic game. One of the best horror games I've ever played, you know, and I rarely play them. I gotta say, it was worth it. Scared shitless, but worth it. But I do feel like for me, multiplayer is where I completely agree with you. Like I haven't had a crazy, like, not, and I wouldn't say like a bad experience, because obviously there's loads of them, you know. I just, you know, you forget about them and stuff like that. Generally,
Right.
I'm not the type of person they want to meet anyway. If they start on me, God help them, they won't be, you know, gaming for much longer, type of thing. I'll have a good giggle at their expense, you know. The Irish banter is a bit too much for a lot of people. But it's, I think, you know, I would agree with you. I think the community gaming wise on Twitch is very much like they are very much like each their own type of thing. Everybody's their own person. It doesn't really matter. We're here to have fun, and that's really it. And I would agree with that 100%. Like everybody's very much accepting of who you are, and you're gaming. You're trying to have fun. You're trying to. Sometimes it's competitive gaming, whatever it is. You know, maybe it's to get ranks. People generally don't mind. Obviously, there is those turds, as you said. Like there's always the one or two loud people that sort of ruin it for like everybody type of thing for a wee while, or you know, you'll see a video here or there, but generally people are very much like understandable. And also I gotta say, like growing up gaming wise, especially PC gaming, because I live a bit similar to you, where it's like I live in the middle of nowhere, like in Northern Ireland. There's not many people, especially bright colored hair. I mean, I get some weird ass looks, I'm not gonna lie, just having bright colored hair. That is so weird walking down. I know most of us have got dyed hair here, so but it's true. It is very weird when you're like in a sort of countryside little town just full of old people. So I feel like gaming is a bit more accepting of just you being you. Gaming for me, I got to meet so many amazing people from different backgrounds, from different places, whether that was, you know, from could be from like Sweden, it could be from, you know, South Africa, like all around the world. But also I got to meet people from different backgrounds, ages, you know, genders and stuff like this, that I would never have been able to meet if it wasn't for multiplayer gaming. And I think it sort of helped me realize who I was, because, okay, you know, I've met, you know, quite a few people who are gay gaming, and they were like, you know, oh, this is, you know, my husband, stuff like that. And they would introduce you, and like you would speak to everybody, and it would be like one of these things where they'd be like, you know, oh, it doesn't matter what you are, but here's my, you know, this is what I do and stuff like that. And you'd find so many people, even in the gaming industry as a whole, from the LGBT community, and everybody was just like, yeah, no, it's great. Everybody's accepting of each other and chilled and nice. And I think for multiplayer wise, for kids, I think it's fantastic as well. Like you just don't get to meet as many, like you get to meet a lot of people in your area, but you always find like a lot of them could be the same or similar, or a lot of people just don't like leaving their house because of that reason.
Right.
So you get to meet so many more personalities online than you would never have access to, which really helps, I think.
And more people like you.
That's true. Yeah.
Because I would never meet people like me here in this town. It's like a population of what, 500 people? It's tiny.
Oh, we're the
tiny.
same. Yeah, I'm in a town like that as well. It's like nobody's here, like it's empty, like type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, same. Oh my god, man. I think like just it is quite nice, but at the same time as well, Jess has done, where she's got that like whole wiki that's helped so many people over the years, and it's like, and that exists, and that's out there, and like that is another form of social. Like it may not be, you know, where you're like speaking directly to that person type of thing. It doesn't matter. Somebody's actually gone, found that help, and they're like, oh my god, this is amazing, you know, like that is insanely cool to do. And
absolutely,
yeah, it's just
a big deal.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But at the same time, as everybody else has said, like it's a great point where it doesn't really matter, like, you know, all walks of life type of thing, and you get to meet some really amazing people, and also celebrate Pride Month this month as well, because why the hell not? another celebration time. And that sort of brings me to my next point, actually, as well. Next question, not point. Question. What can we do as creators to build an inclusive community atmosphere? So obviously we have all mostly been around for quite some time, gaming, creating communities as well, and different platforms, you know, different socials. Like it is an interesting one right now because there is so many socials, there's so many streaming platforms, there's so many stuff out there that we sort of all got to consider. But what can we do to make it, you know, inclusive so everybody can be a part of it? Brandy, would you like to go first this time?
Sure. I think, especially with streaming, you are a big proponent of you create the space that you keep. It's not always easy to do that on like socials because it's not just your space. You have your page, but everybody is always interacting and there's always going to be, you know, the butt heads on the internet and the people that say stuff and comment negative things and mean things. But at least within like Twitch and streaming or like YouTube for me as well, you're creating a space where you are setting the stage for how you want people to interact with each other within that space. So you can set those ground rules of like I have a zero tolerance policy in my streams and my YouTube and stuff of like, if you're a butthead, like you're gone. Sorry. I don't deal with that kind of crap because if I allow one person to slip through the cracks, then other people will come in because that's going to attract more people of that type of nature. And then they're going to think it's okay to act that way within my space when it's not, whether that is towards people in LGBTQIA community, whether that's towards women in general, because I'm also a cosplayer aside from streaming, so I'm constantly, you know, being criticized for the way my body looks in certain costumes and things like that, and I have to be on top of like shutting that behavior down. That way I know that not only am I protecting myself within my space, but I'm protecting the people that I care about in my community within that space as well. And you're also setting that stage for, you know, you're such an impressionable person on your platforms that so many people will come into your space and be inspired to create their own from that. And they're going to want to demonstrate what, you know, you're setting up. If you are making sure that all members of the LGBTQIA are safe within your community, it's going to make other people want to do the same with theirs. And if we can have like a domino effect of people creating more of these safe spaces, that would be better all around than creating more spaces where there's this negative attitude that's continuing to spread, and then more people feel uncomfortable and unwanted in different communities because they know that there are people in those areas or in those, you know, streams or whatever that are not accepting of them as a person. So we as the creators have to like set that stage, and it's a lot easier, like I said, within like Twitch and YouTube than necessarily on all social platforms. But if we could at least start there, I feel like it'll help make the space as overall a lot safer for these communities that, you know, we're a part of and that we want to protect, or at least I feel I want to, you know, I want to have ownership of the community I'm with and make sure that I can protect my people. So yeah.
Yeah, so literally like boundaries, right? Like you would say boundaries is the most important thing for that?
Huge.
Yeah.
Gotta set boundaries right off the rip, and you gotta stick with them. Like, if anybody crosses that line, because like I've had times where I've had to ban mods in the past who have crossed boundaries, and it's like, you know, I might have given you a pass once because I was like, okay, what did you say? Like I had specifically in relation to the LGBTQIA community, I want to say it was like 2-3 years ago, whenever there was like the mass amount of hate raids that were happening towards the community. I want to say that was like 2 years ago. And I was having a specific discussion on stream where I was like, this is not allowed. This is not appropriate. Like, it is not ever happening in my community if this, because I did get hate raided like a couple days previously, which is what spurred the discussion. And one of my mods had made a very insensitive comment in regards to it, which very much so showed me their stance on things. And I acted on it, and they, you know, were extremely upset with me for protecting my space. And I was like, no, I'm not going, like, if you agree with these types of behaviors, then you do not belong within my community. And, you know, it sucks if you have to cut off ties with people you might have known for a while, but like, especially mods, your mods are a direct representative of you as a person, because that's the company that you carry, that you're trying to set up to protect your space. So you definitely got to set those boundaries, and those boundaries go for everybody.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, because I think, like, I mean, I've been streaming for quite some time, like 9 years now, and I feel like if I knew that when I started, things would have been a bit different, because I feel like that's a mistake that I made for a couple of years, where, like, it's interesting. I think it was mostly for different reasons, type of thing, where, you know, people felt like you should stream the game that they want, or what they want you to do, or it has to go this way, and it can go a bit possessive, and it can go a bit toxic in a weird way. So I would agree 100%. Like, boundaries, insanely important, and it's really good advice for anybody who's looking to figure out how to make their community very inclusive as well. Thank you so much. Jess, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, I don't know if everyone can just see me nodding along to Brandy, because I think everything Brandy said is so spot on. Like, when you are building communities, people look to the leader of those communities and the moderators for the ground rules, and you know, they're gonna follow off of that. And you know, if you create the environment you want, it'll exist that way, and you'll keep the people who embody those values, and you'll get rid of the people who don't. So I think one of the most important things you can do when you're building communities, sticking to those values and making sure that you clearly communicate to your mod team and anyone else who is upholding those values, like what those are. And I think like this is a huge, it's a huge challenge, I think, for community leaders, because you know, mods are their own people and they have their own values, and so there's always this balancing act of like, you know, what is the community is also its own living, breathing thing, but at the end of the day, you get to decide on those ground rules. So I think Brandy is so spot on. So I'll just add the other thing you can do is just be visible. Like that's I guess what I'm trying to do at the very least is, you know, aside from just building your own community to be inclusive, making sure that you're as visible as possible, which can be really, really scary. It's definitely been a scary thing for me to go from being basically an invisible, you know, kind of background owner of Zelda Universe for so long to just deciding like, yeah, I'm gonna start, you know, twice a year I'm gonna make a post on the Zelda Universe Twitter. It's gonna have a picture of me and it's gonna say Zelda Universe is trans owned. And you know, that's something that is, you know, it's not even something that's typically on Zelda Universe's feeds, so it draws a lot of attention to that fact, and I think that's a really important thing. Whether, you know, the community wants to see that or not, if you don't want to see that, then you're not welcome, and it's as simple as that. Taking out the trash, you know. And I think that's the other thing is when you show your support vocally for the values that you have, the people who don't agree with those values, they will leave. So I think that's the other thing is show your support vocally and actually be proud of it.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, your mod team are an extension of you, really. At the same time, like you're gonna find mods that sort of align with you. At the same time, if that's, you know, I think obviously all like if you have many mods, they're gonna be separate people, of course, but like you still want them to have like, you know, certain like values that, you know, they're not gonna, you know, they have the same sort of principles and or same morals, you know, where they're not gonna go out and say something that you're like, hold on a second. You know, you still want them to help the community and foster it and you know, make it in such a way. And the mods are amazing. Like I just gotta say, like I've seen a couple other people's mods in the channel as well, and you're all flipping amazing. So
we love our mods.
They're the best, man. You can't beat mods, can you? You just can't. Like they've done so freaking well. Absolutely amazing. And I've seen them got quite a few people in chat. So freaking well done, guys. Well done. Well freaking done.
And the mods, the team, they make the community happen. I mean, literally, like I started on Zelda Universe as a mod. The original owner was a friend of mine, but I started as a regular mod.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So how does the moderation, like how is it compared to like, you know, Twitch chat? Like how is the moderation different?
Well, with Zelda Universe, at least early on, you know, this was 2004, right? Moderation included moderating the message board and moderating the IRC chat.
Oh, right. Oh my god, though.
And I mean, the IRC chat was was like, oh my god, that was the worst. That was the
I
worst.
can imagine that was wild.
Eventually, I had to
20 years
actually
ago
like
too.
shut it down. Eventually, I had to shut down the IRC chat, and it one day it came back as the Discord. But there used to be like a whole separate sub community that existed just on the IRC channel. And that was like its own whole community dynamic thing too, because that's kind of like the place where the trolls would hang out. So we had them isolated, and then when we're like, these guys gotta go, we just got rid of the IRC channel and they left. Big decision. That was a really tough decision for us too, because they were also very active community members. So you got to balance like, holy crap, do we want to potentially impact these community members that other people do care about, a lot of people in the community care about, but they're also really like bullies. How do we deal with that? And at the end of the day, getting rid of the bullies is better.
Yeah, I think for obviously you run a page that is obviously specialized towards a game, right? I'm assuming there's a lot of elitism with that, because people are like, no, you have to do it this way. This is the fast way to do it and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, like I think moderating, like, so we have a set of message boards on ZU for talking about Zelda games, versus like general chat. And moderating the Zelda boards themselves is like a specific job. Like this is a you want to be a Zelda board moderator. This is different than moderating other boards. I honestly never moderated the Zelda boards. It gets very dramatic.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah, I think it'd be an interesting one to look at, but at the same time, you'd be like, oh my god, it seems overwhelming. Big time. Evils, would you like to go ahead and whatever you think, like, build a inclusive community atmosphere as creators?
Well, first off, you ladies all said some really good points here. I don't really know what else I can add on, but I wholeheartedly agree, especially with practicing boundary settings. That's the biggest one, because I mean, I grew up as like kind of a people pleaser, so it was a hard transition, but something that I am really grateful for joining in the Twitch community is learning how to set boundaries. Just setting boundaries is not only to protect yourself, but you're protecting other people by doing this. It's really, really important. The other thing I also really want to agree with is being as visible as you can, or as you're comfortable with, feeling safe to do that. Not only because it's showing these I'm trying to think of a safer word. Buttheads, what were we saying?
That's my normal word for people.
Terms.
Yeah,
Those
terms.
butthead.
Not only is it important to just like kind of, I don't know, give them some exposure, just like grow up, look, this is who we are and we're like sticking around. But also it's really important for people to see examples of themselves in media and in social media, in communities. If I didn't have access to Tumblr, I would have never figured out I was a lesbian. Like, it would have taken way longer. It would have taken way longer. Like, if I didn't have access to the Compet doc, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. If I didn't have access to that, like, I wouldn't have known. And it was the courage and bravery of other people who put that out there for me to help understand myself and, just spread that domino effect, trying to be myself in front of other people so that they know it's safe. I think that's where it starts, is just making sure that everybody feels like they're okay to be themselves,
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, if you're yourself and you're very openly like, this is sort of me, you can be yourself type of thing. Like, you're fine, don't worry. Like, yeah, making it safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, 100% agree. Kat, would you like to go ahead? If you've got anything to add, you don't have to, of course, but if you've got anything to add, feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly with everything that was said, especially like just be yourself and be proud of who you are. My favorite color could be green. It's okay if yours isn't, but it doesn't make it any less of a great color. Do you know what I mean? Just
Green is not a
let
creative color, though.
my favorite color is black. I'm not sure what that says about me. But, you know, like allow everybody the freedom to be who they are and express who they are in the way that they want to express that. In my Twitch channel and Discord, the number one rule, be kind, be respectful. If you do that, you're good. We just don't have any room for the negativity, the, you know, shaming, making people feel like crap about their opinions and what they like and what they don't like. Everybody's okay as long as you're kind to each other. That's the important thing. But I mean, I absolutely agree with everything everybody said.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Like, I mean, like if somebody's just like going about their day and having fun, whatever they're doing, like just, yeah, why not just leave them to it and then it's not affecting
Right.
you and it doesn't hurt you, but like, what does it
It
matter?
doesn't compute. Like, I don't understand how you can. I don't know. There's something going on with the water for some people. Like, I don't know.
I agree. Yeah, just let people be who they are. That's okay
Yeah.
if they're different than you. It's totally okay.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's something like it depends on like obviously what part of the internet you're like you end up in, and I think that's like it's a very nice mindset for us to say that. Of course, obviously it's our jobs as creators to do that, and I think like I definitely for me as well. I obviously change on how I speak to certain people based on what country they're from and stuff like that because I know they're not used to like certain words or anything like that. Like I found out the other day. The last podcast actually I said taking the piss and that doesn't mean what I thought it meant to everybody, which is like making a joke out of something. Yeah, that's not what it means everywhere else. So
I had to learn all of that the hard way because I married a British man.
Oh, did you?
The differences are wild. Probably the first 3 years, basically, we were just kind of trying to teach each other like what we mean when we say this thing, because the other one would take it in a not intended way.
Yeah, pretty much. You learn like I think especially on the internet, like you learn like there's so many different cultures out there, and of course backgrounds and stuff, and that especially when you're typing, somebody may not mean it the way they've typed it in, or they may not mean it that way. You're gonna like just like, well, what do you mean by that? Just in case I've gotten this wrong, what do you mean? Like definitely some type of understanding there, and that's what I've always tried to like figure out. If I can learn something from it, I'll try. I'll try to learn from it, but yeah, I think definitely understanding is definitely a good point as well. Like being understanding, being kind in general, 100%. I agree, and that actually brings us on to. I suppose it doesn't bring us on to this point, but I think Jess and Brandy talked about this a little bit as well. But favorite inclusive game, and I'm gonna say I believe the most inclusive game is actually Apex for characters. I could be wrong. But they do have a lot of representation in their characters. So like it's not like, in a way where it's written everywhere type of thing. You actually have to look for it type of thing. But they do obviously, they add pride flags in and things like that. But they have bisexual, pansexual characters. Gay characters, non-binary as well. Like they actually have quite a lot, and it's surprising because it's in a game category you wouldn't really expect or any mention of it, but it's actually true, and also transgender as well. And it's really nice to see a game of that size, especially a game where it is a multiplayer. Because again, like me and Kat would agree with you, we'll probably say the same thing. Where multiplayer, like you don't really hear much about the characters, but in this type of game. I thought it was really cool that they do have that, and they've really been putting in like the effort, and it's really really sweet. Like they've been having more representation in that game than nearly any other. I think it got an award once for it, but it's really cool. But they're confirmed as well, which is nice. Like it's quite sweet. I gotta say, like I've really thought that was amazing. But if anybody wants to go ahead, if they want to speak about a game that they just love for that reason, or feel free. It's open.
Undertale, yeah.
And I knew
Big
so.
plus one.
Yeah. And
Big
you could
plus
say
one to
Undertale.
Undertale. Yeah. Huge. Also, to go back on what I was saying about how it's fun to just romance, another character just for the fun of it. I don't necessarily know if they did this on purpose. I'm sure it's just easier so that I'm sure either way it's easier to program a game so that people can just romance whoever they want. But in Skyrim, when I learned that you could marry people, I was like, oh, I don't care. But then I learned that you could marry, like, I was a girl character, I could marry a girl character. Immediately, I was just searching, like, Serana marriage mods to download. Like, I want to marry this girl here. And I don't know, it's just, yeah, there's a lot of, when you have an open mind and you're not a hateful person, there's a lot of queer games out there that people probably don't even realize are queer. So I don't know.
The farming sim games as well that are now, like, they never used to, but they now allow you to go for like say for example that one of the characters like identifies as woman and you're a woman character in the game, you can date that now, and that never used to be a thing. And I was like, yes, this is fantastic, I get more choice. I was like, yeah, this is a great idea. And it actually makes you feel like, yeah, it makes you feel quite great, I think, as well. Obviously you're yourself identify as a lesbian and bi, and I think for me when I was going into a lot of the farming sim games, when they did lock that out, I was like, but why what does it affect? Like, does it affect my farm? Let me go and date whoever I want. Like, what part of the farm does it affect? Let me do it. And then it started being a thing where they were like, oh, okay, it doesn't really matter. I agree. It must be harder to code to make it so you can't date certain ones. Like, I was like, what the? Just let me date every single one of them and it's fine, all right? So I totally agree. I think Story of Seasons has started allowing that, and started your course where you can date everybody. Which is also good if you're, if you're pansexual and stuff like that. Like, you can date literally the whole, like, everybody there. I was like, yes.
Don't let the town find out that you're, secretly dating a bunch of people. Apparently,
have you had that ending yet?
No, I mean,
is there that ending?
No,
There
I'm
is.
faithful
I know
to
they do
Emily.
that. They do that in
I'm faithful to
Persona
Emily,
5.
but they do that. That's funny.
If you date everyone,
you can date
they all
everybody.
slap you at the end.
They sort of, they threaten you, and a little bit, like, not threaten, but like get really angry at you. Let's just say, like, Stargew's very interesting, and then you go and speak to them and they're nice for you for like one line, and then the next line they're like, get away from me, I can't stand you. And I'm like, oh, that changed very quickly. So yeah, if you want to date them all, it may not go out in your favor, but yeah, it's good fun though. Gotta say, it's interesting. It's interesting, but the fact you got that option is great. It's there. Yeah, definitely.
I shouldn't be locked out of Emily's weird quirks just because I'm a girl character. Like, I should be able to marry her and wonder why she's staring at the wall for 8 hours a day,
That is a really good point. She does do that. I don't
She
know.
does do that.
Have you ever went to the desert and got dressed by Emily?
Yes, I
Oh.
have.
Did you get
I
the
have.
babushka outfit that I got?
Wait, I don't know, actually. Wait, I'm not sure.
I got a
Babushka
polka dot
outfit.
red little head scarf with a red dress, fully on. Like, I looked like a Russian granny, and I had never seen that
love
before.
Emily.
Like,
She's so special.
I'm properly an old lady, and she's like, "Oh, you look great," and I was like, "For the 1920s, maybe, yeah, no."
Whatever you want, babe. That's fine. Yeah, if
So-
you like it.
Damn, my babushka dressed like that like only 20 years ago. Why are you calling her out?
Well, do you know what? Then Emily would be suited for her. Like, she's
She
totally
would.
down. Yeah,
Bless.
we found her new dateable. It was something else, definitely, with that character. Would anybody else like to? Because I know we said Undertale. I know Jess is going to say Undertale. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
I would
like
say-
also
oh,
I'll just add as a side note that I haven't really experienced very many games that are specifically like LGBT, like games that I would associate with like LGBT inclusivity that aren't games that are about a lot more than that. Like, you've got like the occasional character like Bridget and Vivian. They're just cool. I love that they have trans characters, and I especially love when they have LGBT characters and they don't really make a big deal of it, and they're just existing and living their lives, and it's normal, because that's the kind of visibility that tells people that it's normalized to be LGBT, right? That's the best kind, is when they don't make a big frickin' stink of it. But I don't really know, like the kinds of games that I would want to play are the ones that are like, you know, they're not making a big stink about telling like real stories about LGBT people. Like the main characters are that, and maybe it's just a normal story about their lives. But you know, it's not that because it's LGBT, but it also is. But that's just, you know, like any other story about anyone's life, theirs happens to be an LGBT story, and I would love to see like stuff like that. And maybe there are games like that, and I need recommendations.
You need Life is Strange, 100%. What
Yeah, I
you
hear
described,
Life is Strange is
yes.
probably the closest to that I can think of, but that I haven't played.
Yeah,
So
you
Life
would
is
love
Strange. It's on my list.
At least I'm not the only one who hasn't played it.
A lot of people tell me to play Life is Strange.
Me
Oh,
too.
It definitely seems like it would be up my alley.
I think you'd all like it. I think it is really good. Like it's I don't know which one's better out of them. There's quite a few, but there's also like side stories as well. And also it's multiple choice, so it depends what ending you get.
I love that.
You can get
Some of them
depressing
can
endings.
be way sadder, depending on what you do or don't do.
Yeah. No, I would definitely say stream it, because your stream will have a good time at your choices, and they may ridicule you for it at the same time, be like, no, don't do that. So I think it is worth it. Like, you'll have a good giggle, and your chat will have a good giggle at the same time, especially the ones who've played it, because they'll be like, oh my god, I know what's gonna happen. Oh no. So it could be a disaster at the same time. But I'd recommend 100% playing it, because you'll love it. Like, you both love it. Definitely. Brandy, sorry, I interrupted you as well. I think you were going to say.
Oh, you're good. I was just gonna say, not necessarily, kind of going off what Jess said. That's not like this is LGBTQ. We're making sure that's the forefront. But
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight is huge with bringing LGBTQIA characters into their game, with supporting the community outside of the game, because it is a multiplayer game. They do panels every single year on their Twitch page, like a Pride panel where they bring on members of the community and a bunch of different drag queens that go on and will stream the game and talk about it. Every year, there's like charms that your character can wear on them for both the killer and the survivor. And like every year, they keep bringing in more Pride flags. So they're at a point now where there's probably like 20 to 30 different Pride flags in the game. They're trying to bring in like pretty much all of them. So there is several characters that are part of the community, and they're continuously, and it's not like they're, you know, they already made the character and then they're going back and they're like, oh no, never mind, this person's gay, I'm just kidding. Like, they're creating characters that is just them as a character. But going off of what Jess said, they're not like, I need to make this the forefront of it. It's just, this is a normal character, and this is just who they are. So I think they do a really good job with implementing it without having it be some big to-do, per se. So I think Dead by Daylight's a really good example. Not that it's story-driven, so there's not really that, but there is lore, you can read the backgrounds. But just implementing it for the community as a whole, I feel like makes everyone feel like not only do they care, but the community feels slightly safer knowing that there is, you know, a Pride community within that community that is that safe space.
And I think when you have that representation in your game, even if it's not really like related or a big deal, like it just makes those players feel welcome, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's just explicit support. That's part of the visibility thing, that like when you're visible, you're showing people that they're supported. And
Yes.
you know what I said earlier is support is the number one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just always comes back to that support.
Yep. Agreed. I play a lot of DBD, and I agree it has a very good idea behind like the little charms on the hooks and everything else. Like they're done really well with it as a concept. Like it's, you know, it's, you can put it on as a charm. It's up to you if you want to, type of thing. Like they give you the option to unlock him, and it's a great idea. Like they've done fantastic over the last couple of years with them, and I got my little rainbow charm as well in it as a killer. So I'm very excited about him.
I was excited. They just added the demi flag, so I was like, "Yay, my flag's in here now."
They're adding more and more. It's fantastic. It's a really good idea.
It's awesome.
Like it's hard to put these things in multiplayer games unless unless there's like a certain way to do it. But the way Dead by Daylight have done it is like, you know, it's in as a hook. It's in like as a little thing. You sort of like notice it, and it's really cool. It's really freaking cool. I love that as an idea. Like it's you know, you as a killer can put them on, you as a survivor can put them on. Like it's up to, you know, it's the way you do it yourselves. Other games do it as well. Like you can have when you have like character panels. Like I love the fact that it is sometimes annoying character panels in games where like you have to unlock banners and stuff, but I do like it when it's cool when they say like, oh, you just you know, put a code in, you get a little pride flag, like a rainbow one or bisexual one or whatever you identify as, to give you a little sort of like banner, and it looks so flippin' cool. It's a little custom ability. I know it's something small, but it's really cool. It is the support, as Jess has said and you've said. Like it's really just that micro thing just there. It's like, oh yeah, you know, I get to put that on. That's fantastic. I love it. I love it.
It says so much about the values, right? Like they wouldn't put it there if they didn't have a certain set of values that are aligned with yours. Like even if it's such a small gesture, to do even that small gesture requires all these other things to be true.
Yep. Exactly. 100%. 100% in that. 100%.
And sometimes there's situations where maybe a lack of that representation seems like they must have had to go out of their way to like take all queer things out, and now you know that this is not a safe place at all, because how are you gonna not include such major things like that? Like you're obviously going out of your way to be a jerk. So
yeah. Agreed. Especially if it's AAA, then you're like,
right? Yeah.
There's nothing there. You're like, ooh, wait, what? Hold on a minute. But
what I would absolutely love to see, and maybe it's out there and I just don't know about it, is a character creation where you don't have to choose male or female, and there's a slider that goes all the way. You can choose whatever combination of anything you want. And I keep waiting to see that in a game, and I haven't seen it yet. Like it should just be a character. You can make it look however you want, and you can make it date whoever you want, romance whoever you want. That would be so nice. And it seems like it's always like one or the other. Even in ESO, which is what I play all the time, you know, there's some really great quests in ESO that are, you know, either gay males or gay females, things like that, where you can have a romantic interest who is the same sex. But I can't help but think how nice it would be to have a character creation that you could literally just create whoever you wanted instead of one or the other.
This isn't really as good as what that would be, but I do know that Animal Crossing New Horizons...
I was gonna say Animal Crossing! Like, regardless of what option you pick, it doesn't change the cosmetics at all.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick your style also. They don't say pick your gender, it's choose your style. Yeah. Which is great. And then they don't use gender specific pronouns when other characters are like referring to you, which is pretty fun.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really cute.
I was gonna say, it's also, I don't know if anyone's played like the GameCube Animal Crossing, but it's been like that since GameCube.
It's in that one too?
Really? I didn't realize that.
2001. It has always been like choose your style, or they ask like, what should I call you? How should I refer to you? Like, because the games always started with you were on like a train ride and Rover would come up to you and be like, who are you? And they immediately ask, how should I refer to you? What should I call you? Like, so you immediately get to pick right off the rip, and then it still is pretty gender neutral from their phone. But even back in 2001, Animal Crossing was on it.
I love that. Am I the only one who hasn't played Animal Crossing?
Oh my gosh, you have to play Animal Crossing.
Games of all time.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I still have Wild World on my DS, and I just pop that in every once in a while. It's so good.
I was one of those people that got into New Horizons when it came out during the pandemic, and I spent like literally full-time jobs worth of time playing Animal Crossing during the pandemic. Like I think I was on the phone with my mom and I was like, oh my god, I have like 500 something hours in Animal Crossing, and it's been like 5 weeks, and it's been like 6 weeks, and my mom is like, Jess, that's a full-time job.
That game is awesome. I was like, am I into landscaping? Like, am I in real life like into interior design or something? Because I'm really good at this. No. But it's really fun. It's really, really fun.
It's sort of multiplayer as well, because people can visit your island.
Yeah.
And you can say hello to them. Sort of.
Okay.
It's so multiplayer. There was such a big community when it started. Like the turnip market is a community.
Yeah.
The turnip market's
What is
insane.
it? Nookazon or something? It's like
Oh my god, there is
Nookazon.
Nookazon. There's like a whole
Yeah.
exchange community.
I went
There's, like-
so deep into Nooks.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I went
Yeah.
so deep into turnip exchange.
You exchange turnips? Is this
It's
an
like
Yeah,
a
analogy
there's a
marketing
stonk,
or like
there's a
actual
stonk
turnips?
simulator.
Turnips for the money, basically.
It's the money.
Okay,
That's
okay.
the big money. I got like 50 million bells.
I've never gotten into that. It's just
I'm
it's too
rich.
hard for me.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, it's so fun.
Animal Crossing is something else as well. Like it's a game you could actually stream and have a lot of fun into.
Mhm.
And another point, I think, actually, yeah, Evils, you said there is a couple of games adding in like pick a body type, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5, 6, like a couple of body types and stuff like that. And I think that was really, really cool. And for me, like body type wise, so if I'm doing a multiplayer game that's slightly RP-ish, I am a bald monk that doesn't identify, it doesn't identify as anything really at this time. Like it's just like a developing character type of thing. And because the way my voice is, people don't really know when they hear me. They're like, is this a girl? Is this a boy? Is this a young kid? Like they don't freaking know. Like it's fantastic. It's great. So
That's
my
good.
bald
Yeah,
monk,
it's freedom.
who's like a very strange character. Like if you can just like if I can pick like a random, if I can pick a body type with that Friar Egbert, which is again like a bald monk with like a blue beard and like slightly purple, like the bald on top looks like an egg, literally looks like an egg, type of haircut.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, why not? Like that makes it so much easier instead of me having to pick, I have to be, male and female, like his gender. It's like, but I don't think my character is even that. I'm like, just let us just pick a body type and then that'll be it. It'll be sorted type of thing instead,
I love that.
because then it doesn't have to be like, strict on the clothing or anything like that as well.
Yeah.
Where like it has to be one of the, you can't pick this outfit. And I'm like, but like Egbert would wear that. I know that's like a bikini type of thing, but I would put that in Friar Egbert, no problem. Like it's exactly what I do in actually Baldur's Gate, which I know again you haven't played, but it is a game where you can actually do that. Like it doesn't matter, you can put in any outfit. It doesn't matter your body or anything like that. Like they don't care. It's just you're all good type of thing. But you can basically
In
create
some
anything.
games, when you pick like male or female type characters, really like the only difference is like boobs too, which
Yeah.
is also like then just add a boob slider. Like just give me a boob
Please.
slider. and
Give
I
me
can
the
just put
boob
boobs on
slider.
anybody.
That's what I
like,
want.
That's all I want. Yeah.
Yep.
I
Or-
spent like
big on
3 hours on
boobies.
my Elden Ring character and I can't give her the right boobs. It sucks, but
Yeah. Or in a diamond slider or whatever, you're looking like it doesn't really matter as long as you're like happy with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
My cyberpunk character has both, so I'm like, yeah, it's great. You know what I mean? Like it's like I've put the slider to the max on boobs and peen is whatever you want to call it, but I put it straight to the max. It's like perfection. I've made the exact character I want. That's it. I'm going to be walking around with that, no problem whatsoever. And then I find out actually Cyberpunk has one thing that I find out where I thought I could date every character then. No, I can't. I thought I could find a cheat code and I still can't date every character because the characters have their own they're their own preferences, their own stories and backgrounds.
how dare they?
So some characters are, gay, some are, bi, some and stuff like that. And I didn't realize like, yes, I can date every character. Nope, that's not how it works. That is not how it freaking works in that game. So I thought it was gonna be optional if you get everything to date. Nope, that's not how it works. So yeah, but it would be nice. I agree. Like if I think again, if games like if it isn't a character select where like they have the superpowers, like they have certain powers. It's not like their own lore. Like that doesn't matter, right? There's no storyline behind that. Then allowing us to customize it in such a way where you just sort of like, yeah, here's the options that you can do, or even sliders, a bit like what Ark does and stuff like that, where there's like sliders or Conan, like any MMORPG like that, which are like,
Yes.
multi-worlds. You can just like slide up and down. You can be the shortest person you want, but you can also be the tallest person. Like that type of stuff. I hope there's more of.
Me too. Have all the options.
100%.
Evils, I'm cracking up at your comment before because this is such a every trans girl can relate. I've spent so much time in the character creator, but I can't get the right boobs.
Sometimes too I'm like, this armor would look so much better if I had just a rack on my chest, No. No, of course not. They don't give me that option. It's sad. It's sad, but maybe someday. That's the future I can hope for.
You know, I
That's
always
the
gotta
future we
max
can
that
wish.
slider.
Yeah,
Full
right?
on max everything, like
Yes.
max every single thing. You know, why not? Like I like to. Do you know the way it's like? You know, it says like, oh, do you want like lip length and then lip like size, stuff like that. So I like either make them really really thin, but like very very long but really really thin, or vice versa. Like I'll do the same with the nose. I'll create the weirdest thing I can make that this game will allow me to, that is not possible ever in the world. Like it's just not even a thing. You can't be like that. Like, you know, instead of, you know, making a real person, I've made a Minecraft character, a square on, like full on square head, like it's just something that's not even possible. And that's just great, you know, even just doing silly things like that in games where it may not be, you know, a normal person or whatever, but you're just like, just having fun. It's like a game at the end of the day.
Right.
You may not be creating yourself in the game. You may just be creating something for fun, you know, and giggles and whatever. And yeah, I'm very surprised at ESO that don't have it's not just a body type of thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating to me because gosh, I can't remember the game. Was it Dragon's Dogma? Or was it Skyforge? There's one where you can make the boobs like absolutely gigantic, and there is boob physics. Even when you're standing still, those things are like moving. And I love to have like the big boobs on the character. And in ESO, you know, it only goes so much, and it's like average, I guess. And I'm like, I just want to make them just a little bit bigger, just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a game. We're there for fun. Why can't we?
Do you think
bit.
there's a lot of people who think women don't want those type of characters?
Gosh, you know, I was talking about this on stream the other day. My sister, when we were growing up, she always wished she had smaller boobs. And I was completely opposite of that. I wish I had bigger boobs. So that may be part of it. It may be.
Yeah, I think
Maybe it is.
It could be.
I would say, as a lady that's part of the big titty committee, I make the boobs big in every game that I play.
Yeah.
And more boobs the better. I might want
Same.
less boobs, but in my video games I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could deal without the back
Exactly.
pain and the neck pain, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Video
living
games, it
vicariously.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't feel anything. It's fine. It's all good.
exactly.
It's like an extra like armor buff too, right? Because then like maybe a blade is gonna take a little longer to get to my heart. I don't know.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's
I like
practical for sure.
Yeah. That's what physically needs to be in the game then. That's what we need to we need to be like, well, you know, it needs to be in. It's extra armor. It's fine. Totally fine. That's do you know what? There's a game that I played. It is Black Desert Online. It's an MMO as well, but it's a Korean MMO, so it's based on, you know, the body types there. And I found a way that you can essentially, if you widen shoulders, you can do that. You can move like everything else like larger, including breast size. And I'm like, haha, perfect, great. And that's the only way you can do it. And I was like, no, let me just mess around with the sliders. Let me just, you know, let's do it. It's fine. But yeah, there should be a bit more body types, because I think the thing is with a lot of us as well. I mean, I don't know everybody's heights, of course, but everybody's body is going to be different. There is no such thing as, you know, body type 1, body type 2, body type 3, body type 4. There's no such thing as that. That ain't existing, you know. And on top of that, there's nothing I've seen them do, especially with femme presenting bodies that they pick. It's always, if you've got it's a slim build, there's nothing there, right? There's no chest, nothing. Or if it's a larger build, it's only slightly, but everything's larger. Everything. They just expand it. It's just like stretch. It doesn't actually, like, it's not what a normal body, like, it's not how it normally works. Like, it's not just, okay, I'll just stretch out the character, like, slightly by, you know, 1 centimeter on the screen. That's not how it works, type of stuff.
I wonder if it's anything to do with, like, the clothing assets. Like, I don't...
Some
maybe
of it might
it's just,
be.
like, really hard to make armor look... I don't know. I have no idea.
It depends on how they've created it, yeah. It depends on if they're making it, like, snap points. So if they make the clothes where it's snap points on, so for example, the middle chest plate sits here on the body, no matter where that is, and then if you've stretched out, say, this area, then those other two snaps would go out with it. So it depends on how they've done that. Because like Ark is a prime example of a game where that don't matter. Like it literally, you can be literally just a massive square with skinny little legs. You can look like a walking box, and the clothes will fit you. It will do it. So it depends on how they've coded it. So that's a really good point.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. Yeah. It's true. That's how it should be. It'd be. I don't know how they've sort of worked the code, of course, but yeah, like it'd be awesome to do that. But I mean, like for example, like Egbert, I always pick the femme body because you have really no choice because it's the skinniest body, and he is very like he or she or they is very skinny, character wise. So it's very hard to pick the male bodies, even if I wanted to, even if it made a difference. But there is a slight like a boob outline type of thing, and that wasn't the intention of that character. It's never that intention, but it has to be that way because there's no options, there's no sliders or anything that you can sort of like do. So yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a great freaking point. And actually sort of brings to the next question, but I don't know, I think we've already answered this a little bit, guys, which is what advice would you give LGBTQ creators coming into the space? Personally, just be yourself really is quite important. At the end of the day, you will grow with the community, and you will learn things that maybe you'll see things from different perspectives, and you'll learn other people's perspectives. You'll learn a lot about the LGBTQIA plus community itself, because there is a lot of learning and a lot of growth for yourself as well. It's not just you're never going to change. No, you are going to change and grow as the gaming industry grows as well, because we are sort of like in a good time, I think, where we're going to be watching it change and get better, because that's the way it looks like it's going. Thankfully, fingers crossed. But like I think for the way that it goes, like just try and be yourself as much as you can, and just be respectful as much as possible. So yeah, like that's the way I'd say it. Would anybody like to answer that one first? Go ahead.
I agree wholeheartedly. Be you. Be proud of who you are. It's okay if somebody feels differently, but just be proud of who you are, because that's what makes you you.
Yep, 100%. I completely agree. If anybody else would like to chime in, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I think I didn't even realize what pride meant before I came out. I think it never really hit me that, like, yeah, of course people should be proud of being LGBT, but I didn't realize that it meant like being prideful means standing up for your ability to exist, right? And it also means standing up for other people's ability to exist. And that makes it so much more important than just being like, yeah, I'm gay, that's awesome. There's in having that pride, you are actively making a difference in other people's lives by normalizing that acceptance. And it can be really easy, I think, when you're in the community, especially when you're a small creator and you're in your small community, to think that a lot of this isn't or shouldn't even be an issue. But there are so many other people out there, and social change moves way slower than people in progressive communities want to think that it does. And it can be hard to admit a lot of times that there are so many places in the world that aren't accepting to LGBTQ identities, but that is the reality. And that's why it's so important that when you're a creator, that you are visible and that you're supporting people. Like if you're not openly out and visible that way, that you're supporting the LGBT people and helping to normalize it, because there's so many places where it's just not normalized. I hear too many stories nowadays to think that it's all peachy everywhere, right? And that's why it needs our support. And I keep saying that over and over again. This whole podcast is support. But that really is, I think, like the ultimate message is support LGBTQ identities.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much. That was really well said. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, like support is the main message, and that's why Pride Month exists, right? It's like there's a reason why it's to help educate everybody as well as, you know, just be proud of yourself. Like it's just part of it, really, isn't it? I mean, I don't know if anybody, because a lot of people, obviously, Pride Month, there is parades in most major cities across the world, type of thing. And I went to one last year, and with my partner went with me, because I wouldn't have gone by myself. I would have felt really, really sort of like alone, type of thing. And the fact that he was there to support, like he's not gay, he's a straight guy, and he was like, no, I'll go with you, of course, I don't want you to be left there alone, type of thing. But that little bit of support, like, means, you know, the world. And it's also really nice to see just like a whole lot of other people from the community there, where I didn't really expect, you know, in my little country. So it's like, it is a big deal, but maybe more so, a lot of people, I think, assume that it's just, you know, oh, it's for show and stuff like that, or, you know, oh, it's a bit too much. No, it's so people don't really sort of feel alone, so that they understand like the hardships they've went through. There is other people out there like that. It's not what a lot of people realize, you know, or what a lot of people make it out to be. No, it's generally just, it's a celebration of being, you know, who you are. You know, everybody's welcome at a lot of these events, especially Pride. Like, a lot of, you can go and, you know, you can wave around a Pride flag without being, you know, gay or bi or pan or demi or anything like that. You can literally go there and be an ally and be like, yeah, hell yeah, it's a celebration. Why the hell not? You know, it's for everybody, type of thing. Like, you know, love is love, type of thing at the end of the day, and you want to support your friends. So why the hell wouldn't you? You know, like, why wouldn't you want to be
Plus, we
kind?
throw the best parties.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And you're showing up for yourself, but you're showing up for other people too. And I think that makes a huge difference to a lot of people, knowing that they have someone in their corner.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Like, and again, it is all support, all being there, you know. And again, like, things are changing and stuff like that, and the world's changing, and, you know, of course, like, but there's loads of celebrations, there's loads of different, like, days to celebrate different things. So, like, you know, Mother's Day, Father's Day, like, there is like other days. You can't just say, like, you know, Pride is an important type of thing. There's a reason why Pride exists. There's a Mother's Day exists, you know, and stuff like that. Like, there's reasons why. Yeah, it's basically support. So it's freaking amazing. And also, if anybody wants to add to that, you can. By the way, I spoke a bit too long and started like just going tangents.
I would just say, as like a last thing too, for anyone that's listening, you don't have to have all of the answers. It's a spectrum for a reason. If, you know, for myself, for a while, like, I didn't know if I was one thing or the other, and I'm still kind of figuring out everything. And that's okay. You can still be part of Pride. You can still be part of the community without being like, I am X, Y, and Z label, you know? Like, it's not always that cut and paste. And I feel like even people in my own community have, like, spoken to me being like, I think I'm this, or I think I'm that, but I'm not sure. And I'm like, that's okay. You don't have to know. Because nothing is also definitive either. Because you might feel, you know, that you're this one way, and then you realize, no, I'm more of this, or, you know, or, like, I know a lot of, like, several of my friends, you know, maybe thought they were bi at first, and then realized, no, I'm more pan. Like, it things change over time, and you don't have to have all of the answers all the time, and that's okay. And I feel like some people don't always feel that that's okay, to not have a definitive answer to describe themselves or how they feel about, you know, themselves and how they're represented. So it's a spectrum for a reason, and that's the great part of it.
I agree wholeheartedly. You don't have to have everything figured out.
Yeah, and also on top of that, like, what's the word for it? Not everybody has that ability, or has a supportive family, or has that education where they can figure that out. Maybe they don't know the terminology or the words, and you know, and as you know, as they explore themselves and they realize, that's not me, I'm actually this. I didn't realize. Maybe they'll meet somebody else who just says, yeah, this is, you know, I'm you know, demisexual, and they explain it, and they're like, oh my god, that is me. That is what I, you know, that's part of education, right?
That's how I found it. Like, it was like 2-3 prides ago. I didn't even know the term existed. I didn't know what it was. And I always thought that I was, like, more asexual, but I was like, I'm not fully all the way there, but I don't know. Like, so I was just like, I guess I'm a really good ally, kind of like Jess was saying. and then more turns came out, and I was like, okay, I feel like I'm more aligned with this a little bit, but now that I know that I'm demi, that makes me feel more like I align with being pan, possibly with being demi. So it's so much of like, the more that you are able to educate yourself and learn about things, then you can help others to also be like, oh my gosh, that does align with, because the amount of people that in my community have been like, oh my god, I'm also demi, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's go, like, and they just didn't know the same thing of like, I didn't know this term existed, I didn't know that there was this spectrum. Like, some people think it's so definitive if it's not one of the main letters, that the rest of the spectrum doesn't count. But
yeah. I mean, we of course we shorten it, right, to LGBT, right?
Yeah.
Or LGBTQIA plus. Like, we shorten it, of course. Like, but yeah, there's a lot of letters in there, and a lot of people may not realize there's more to that, because just it is just education, or not knowing, or not being around somebody like that. It just takes time to get to know yourself. I mean, you're not going to be the same person you were when you're 18. That's just how it goes. You're not going to have the same life experience.
Yeah.
It's just how, I mean, we're all different ages here. So, and we all definitely agree, like, you change as you go along, and that's just, you figure it out. It is a spectrum. That's a fantastic term to put it in. There's other things that are, a spectrum, but that is also one. That's a really good point. I love the fact that you've actually, you've said about the sort of like the questioning type of thing. That's a really interesting way to experience it as well, because you're like, where do I fit on this? Like, am I in this category? Am I in that category? Some people are in more than one, like, or like, it wouldn't even say category, just like community side of it. But like, where would you like place? You could be in many groups in one. And I mean, I learned a couple of other words the other day where somebody is asexual, and they change depending on, like, they basically said it was like their hormone balance and stuff like that messes with them, and they were like, I actually sort of sit between them, and I was like, that's a fantastic way to put it, as well. And I was just, I'd never heard that before, but that is a spectrum. That's basically how it works. But anybody else like to add before I've missed anybody?
I just want to reiterate what Jess has been saying about being just proud and visible. It's like, being yourself is a radical act. Like, it is an act of rebellion when you're somebody like us. And that's a good thing. Like, you can make that into a good experience for you and for other people. And it's really important. It's really important to be yourself. As long as you feel safe enough to do that, be yourself as a creator. And I guess the other thing is just know that people really like you. There's going to be some really like jerks, just like there are in every part of life, but you'll get past it. You'll find your people, and you'll feel safe, and you'll have a fun little gay club of friends that you've just curated. It's great.
Yes. And it's okay to not know. It's okay as you're learning, as you're experiencing things, as you're figuring out who you are. It's okay.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's the way that, again, spectrum, you'll find out who you are. It just takes time, doesn't it? I do gotta say, like, I mean, it does depend on, we say be yourself, and somebody else touched on it. Obviously, keep yourself safe, and that's a really good point. There is some people out there who are not so ideal, not the nicest, and or they don't understand for whatever reason, where they've had it. They've just had this idea where it has to be this way, it's black and white type of thing, and just keep yourself safe, just to keep that in context, like, be yourself, but keep yourself safe, like, first and foremost, just in case, especially if you're younger, because not everybody has that option. So that could be, if you are one of those people, there's a lot of helplines, things like that, but just keep that in mind, like, be yourself, of course, especially if you're like, a creator out there, but yes, safety is paramount, 100%, like 100%. Yeah. Does anybody else want to say anything else on that? Okay, I'm so worried that I'm gonna miss somebody on one of the questions, and I'm gonna be like, because I do that. Like, it's just brain away. Guys, it was supposed to be. I don't want to keep anybody because I know you guys are in a different time zone than me. So some of you guys actually go live soon, I think. Yes, yeah. I was about to say, like, some people go live now. So we're gonna start obviously wrapping up. Thank you everybody for being here in the podcast, for speaking about your experiences, just in general, like being a creator on this platform. It can always be a bit tough in any platform because it's just how it works. But yeah, just saying your experience, your stories, your opinion on things, and in gaming in general. I appreciate you guys coming on and chilling and everything else, because I know some of you guys for quite some time now from the Twitch Women's Guild. Some people I've only just met. So I'll be watching. I'll be coming around saying hello. But it is honestly amazing to meet so many like awesome creators. And also shout out to the Twitch Women's Guild for like putting us in the front page. And also I just want to say, because I'm going to let everybody give their own time and where to find them when they're next live now. But everybody in the Twitch channel as well, if you're here today, maybe you could be just watching from your TV, I don't know, but you can always go back in the VODs and follow these amazing creators. So there's all the Twitch links. You'll be able to find all the other socials from that too. But if you are a mod from any of the streamers, while they're speaking, I'm going to shout out all the socials in a link as well. So if you want to go follow, please make sure you do so, because they're all fantastic. Every single one of them. Everybody does different things here as well. We've got people who do horror games. We've got people who do like Switch games. Like it is all like you'll find some really cool people in this group. Like I learned today, Jess does, the Zelda wiki. Like, you learn things as you go, and it's really cool to find out all the stuff like from these creators, but also all the different experiences, and you never know what you'll relate to as well. So yeah, just like go and follow them. But we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna do an outro. So what we'll do is, Evil, would you like to do your outro, where to find you when you're next live, anything you want to say, like what you're like, if you got any plans coming up for your channel or anything cool, like go ahead. Sure way.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Well, I'm gonna be live in an hour, 2 hours, playing Elden Ring. I've been playing the DLC. I've been having a really bad freaking time because it's really hard. So I'm gonna beat the base game, I think, today, hopefully. And yeah, I'm usually live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, sometimes Mondays. I'm kind of a bit of a degenerate, so maybe you folks over in the UK will see me more than the people in the US, because it's a normie hour to be watching Twitch probably. But yeah, I'll be streaming into the wee hours, as Queenie would say. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
That's fine. I do say that.
Anyway,
actually.
it's funny, it's cute, it's endearing. Yeah, and you'll see this guy who's waking up and getting mad at me for talking so much. Anyway, yeah, I hope I see you guys over there. Thank you for having me so much. This has been really fun. It's the first time I've been able to have these kinds of conversations with people like us, and yeah, it's been great.
And don't type Elden Ring in your chat, apparently.
Don't type Elden. Don't capitalize it unless you want to be surprised. Yeah, capital E and then capital R. There's some BTTV emotes that I don't necessarily condone, but it's funny. It's funny.
It's surprising. So next time you're in,
yeah.
You'll have fun. Jess, would you like to go ahead? Where to find you when you're next live? Do you have any plans?
Yeah. You can find me here on Twitch. My username is Jess Rappaport, so it's twitch.tv/Jess Rappaport, and on every other social platform as @GoldenChaos. So Instagram Golden Chaos, Twitter @GoldenChaos, Threads @GoldenChaos. I'm usually live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So my next stream is going to be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, and I'm starting to do some new fun projects. I'm redoing my bedroom. I'm making the streamer e-girl bedroom of my dreams. So I'm building a vanity, I'm building bed frames, I'm building furniture. She's strong. She built furniture, IKEA stream. And I'm also going through my whole wardrobe. We're trying on all my clothes, and we're throwing out what isn't good. So if you want to have a fun time on my streams, come and chill, or just follow me on socials. And yeah, one last thing I just want to add. I thought of this as a point for the discussion. Like when you have that extra support, it makes it easier for people to figure out who they are. They don't have to spend so much time. So
Agreed.
if I had like, I imagine if I had that, like that extra support when I was younger, I might have figured it out sooner. So that's my last little note.
I agree. And I do have another question. You have a different name, Golden Chaos.
Golden Chaos is my like original username. Golden Chaos, it wasn't available on Twitch, so I had to register as Jess Rappaport. But yeah, like my username since the dawn of time, since I registered on Zelda Universe 20 years ago, was this Golden Chaos.
I love it. Yeah, now I was going to ask. I completely forgot. And then you said it there now. I was like, yes, I forgot to ask that question. I wanted to know.
Yeah, it's actually a Sonic reference. For the deep lore people, it's a Sonic reference. It used to be, when I was a little kid, it was Golden Chow, and then I changed it to Golden Chaos. So it was named after the gold Chow that you can get in Sonic Adventure 1. That's what I made my username of. And that's why my logo is a little Chow head.
Oh, okay, that explains it. That explains it. Oh, I'm getting judged in chat by my name. Yeah, be quiet, Fable. Be quiet. That's a really old username. Yeah, no, thank you so much, guys. Brandy, would you like to go ahead when you're next live? What you're doing? Anything you'd like to share? Where to find you? Whatever you like.
So I go live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, so that's in 3 hours from now. Ironically, I am also playing Elden Ring tonight, and I equally also hate it. I haven't gotten to the DLC yet because I'm still on my first playthrough of the base game, and I don't want to suffer through the DLC when I am not even done yet and I'm not like leveled up. But I've been planning collabs with people so that I can like play with people and level at the same time, and I don't feel like I'm struggling as much with the game. So I have a bunch of that planned. But I honestly, every day of the week you come through, I'm playing something different. So like just this week alone, like Monday was indie horror and then Minecraft. Yesterday was Dead by Daylight. Today is Elden Ring, and tomorrow is Resident Evil 4. So I'm literally, I play a different thing every day, and I do cosplay streams. So like tomorrow is a cosplay stream. I'm gonna be Ada Wong. So I do a lot of that on my stream. Oh my god, my chat's bringing up turtle time. Let's not. Somebody from my community got me a weird turtle costume, and I've agreed to wear it for certain streams. So, yay for turtle time.
I show up for those streams.
But aside from that, yeah, I'm xxBrandy on Twitch. I'm Slay with Brandy across all of my other socials. Yeah, you can come through for fun, chill times. I'm kind of weird, and aren't we all weird? So you know what?
Weird is good.
Weird is good.
But yeah, that's me.
I love it. I love it. Also, are you playing Elden Ring with keyboard and mouse or controller?
I play on my PS5, so if anybody
controller.
else plays on PS5 and wants to play with me, just hit me up.
I play.
I would. I'm PC.
Yeah,
I know.
PC.
I got it on PS5 not knowing there was no crossplay, and now I'm way too deep in, and everyone's like, buy it on PC, and I'm like, I have suffered for like 60 hours already in this game. I just cannot bring myself to buy it on PC and then suffer through it again. So I'm stuck in my ways.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't like playing controller unless it's Fall Guys or something. So I don't play controller in anything. So I play keyboard and mouse on Elden Ring, and I got crucified by the community. They gave off to me something shocking because you're not supposed to. It's like criminal.
That's
offense.
hard mode. Like you're playing on hard mode.
That's what I
mode.
thought. I play mouse and keyboard for most games, but I got it for PlayStation specifically, so I can just
could
do
see
my
why.
controller.
I could like, but I don't really. Yeah, the thing is, right? I get confused with the buttons. So like, you know, like it's R and RL, whatever, RZ, or whatever. So I'm just sitting there like, screw that. I'll know where my keyboard and mice are. Like, it's fine. I'll do all those buttons. I don't even have to look at them. So I don't play controller because of that reason. But also the controls for Elden Ring are awful on keyboard and mouse. They don't even make sense. Like, they're completely random. Like, you know, I think
Get an
F
Xbox
is
controller.
jump. So yeah, I have an Xbox controller. I collect them actually.
That's what I use on my PC when I'm playing on PC.
Yeah, I have loads of them. I literally have like 10 Xbox controllers and like 4 or 5 PlayStation
Oh,
ones.
you probably have the nice fancy ones too. You got the limited edition ones.
I have some. They're not for like journey from Xbox. They're just pretty ones.
They're just pretty.
Let's
This is the fanciest Xbox controller I have.
Ooh, it's pretty.
That is
It has
pretty.
rubber grips too.
I love
It's
a
so
clear
golden
case.
chaos coated
Beautiful.
with its
Love
colors.
it. I've
Like
got the
these
little
guys.
Minecraft piggy Xbox controller.
I
when
love
you
those,
flip it around,
Queenie.
It's got the little curly one.
And then Japanese wave one, which is my
Ooh.
favorites. This one, and then
Those
this
are
guy.
beautiful.
And has our.
Am I the
little
only one
infinity
that
pack.
hates the Xbox controller? I can't. I don't know.
I love
It's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm so accustomed to PlayStation where my joysticks
Yeah.
are right next to each other that Xbox just feels weird.
I'm
like
playing it
Xbox.
actually with my PlayStation controller, but I had to remap the buttons because it's like only
Oh.
mapped for Xbox controllers.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
remap.
Xbox is sturdier. I feel
Can
like the
we-
controller is
Yeah.
Mhm.
bigger, sturdier. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I
Can
got
we agree
small
that the
hands. There's too
base
much going
layout-
on.
I have big hands.
Can
There's
we
too
agree
much
that
happening.
the base controller layout is actually the Steam Deck, which is the
Oh,
number
I
one
haven't
best
played
controller.
the Steam Deck yet.
Steam Deck
If you
is
have
great.
never tried the Steam Deck,
Oh
you
my
gotta
God.
try
I
the
need
controller
to.
layout. It's like the most ergonomic controller layout ever made. It's perfect.
It's really good. Yeah, I know.
It
I
looks
agree.
weird. It's perfect. Unbelievable.
It's amazingly good. It's really well done. It is for like adult hands and not for like kids' hands, like the Switch, the little buttons. I honestly, I'm like, bruh, like they're tiny. And the spacing in between the Switch compared to the Steam Deck, like, oh my god. So yeah, no.
That's why you got to get the little slider. I have like 3 different Switch things. I have the slider to put the 2 in to hold it that way.
Oh,
I have
yes.
the regular controller. I've got the GameCube controller one for it. I got a lot of Switch ones.
Yeah, you need to, like 100%. Like it's insane trying to play Switch games with how small these are. And I'm not like big hands or anything. I think my hands are medium, but no, this is for children. Like, oh, I suppose it is a Switch, but yeah. Unlike the Steam Deck, you said Steam Deck is amazing. It is for adults, 100%.
Not for
Spaced out.
kids.
Not for kids. No.
Dangerous
Kids.
for children.
Too expensive for children. All right, too expensive. They drop that,
Too
man. you
expensive
try.
for adults. What are you talking
No
about?
kidding.
Yeah, that's right. It is expensive for adults.
That's why we don't have one.
Yeah, I would love one if anyone is giving them away.
Right.
I did. I gave one away last month. You missed it. I actually did. And somebody
I
won
actually entered that.
it. It's really good, actually. Yeah.
Isn't the base one only $50 more than a Switch?
No,
Like,
150.
The base one is
Oh.
400, right?
Oh, yeah. You're in your currency. No, a Switch is $200, I think. 'Cause it's
But the
100 and-
OLED Switch,
yeah.
sorry, like the OLED one is 350.
Mm.
Oh well,
Yeah.
the OLED Steam one is more than that. It's $500. And then
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess I'm comparing apples to oranges. The most expensive Switch to the cheapest Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is comparable considering what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could probably compare that. Yeah. It's probably then $100. I think.
You get an
difference.
LCD. You'd get an LCD Steam Deck, but it's still better than an OLED Switch IMO.
There you go. Nerd talk. We're gonna.
Nerd talk,
That'll be the
tech
next
talk.
podcast, by the way. Tech talk with
Bring me
Jess
on for
and
the tech podcast.
the nerds. We're gonna be on for the nerd talk, which will be great. I think we'll have to do that actually sometime in the future. That'll be an interesting one. Rate Apple's versus Windows. Just to annoy Jess. I'm gonna.
Oh my
A
gosh.
thing. No, I'm not gonna do that. Oh god,
See,
we got.
then you'll get me waxing about Steam OS.
Oh, it would be hilarious. It would be so funny. Like, it would just be literally the nerdiest people arguing in chat. It'd be the funniest thing. Which is better, Linux, Windows, Steam, Mac? Or which is it? It's like, it would just be a fight. It would just be the worst thing ever. It'd be so strange. If you've ever built a PC on stream, you have never seen such angry people. They will tell
Yeah.
you off for everything. You've recently done that, haven't you, Presley? Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some backseating, some crazy backseating.
Oh,
on that.
tech backseating is like the craziest backseating. I'm like, how do you come in here telling me how to install my motherboard? Like, you don't see what I'm seeing, dude. Oh,
Because
man.
everybody thinks that they're right.
Yeah, and if you get it wrong as well, it'd be like, I told you so. I told
Yeah.
you so. And they'll get really
Yeah.
upset about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that definitely happens.
Should have
as well.
listened.
You know, you should listen to me. I was right. Yes, you and 50 other people were saying all different things. So who knows which one of you is right, all right? So,
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to have like a backseater. You guys just need to have a meeting and choose which one I'm going to listen to because I'm sick of you guys telling me to do different things. Just who is the representative of backseaters? Because I just need to listen to that one person.
That's it. Yeah, highlight your message every time, please. Thank you very much. You got now bits to use it if you want to be heard. All right, there you go. Highlight your message with bits. Thanks, man. Thanks. You want to be the ultimate backseater? Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Oh, Kat, would you like to go ahead, just say when you're next live, where to find you, anything you're planning to do on your stream?
Absolutely. For the last couple of weeks, we've had so much going on. We had the Gold Road launch for Elder Scrolls Online. We finally got through that. And then we had the 7 Days to Die streamer weekend kind of sprung on us like last minute. So we've been really, really busy. Now we're kind of getting back into a little bit of normalcy. So I'll be live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, Kattatonia. That's it. We'll be playing 7 Days to Die tomorrow because we're going to officially like stick with Thursdays being our variety day. I love ESO. It's kind of like my comfort game. So I play a lot of ESO, but I love 7 Days to Die. And I've got a feeling we're probably going to incorporate that a little bit more than one day a week. But tomorrow we'll be in 7 days. I'm looking forward to it.
Kill all the zombies, Blood Moon. Perfect.
Yes.
So guys, I won't keep you because I know again some of you are going live. You need to get food, you need to get ready. I understand. I'm so sorry for being a little bit late today. You're gonna have to forgive me. Normally we're generally on time for the podcast, but this time we got different links for some reason. So odd one. But
we love
guys,
you, Queenie.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
You gotta.
Thank you.
You're all streamers, you know how this goes. So it's thankfully.
It's not a stream
No
without
worries,
tech
no.
issues.
And I appreciate every single one of you, and also like sharing so much information, like just chilling, and generally like it's so nice to talk and with other creators who've been through similar things, and generally like just all around it is nice conversation. And also I think as some people, especially from our communities, might be afraid to talk about it or even to ask, and this is. There you go. We get to learn a bit more about the creators that you watch that you may be afraid to ask, or maybe it's just like, it hasn't come up in conversation. Yeah, you get to learn something pretty new. So, guys, thank you so much. And I will be linking you out throughout the rest of the stream. But thank you so much, guys, for joining.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for having us.
It was nice meeting you
wonderful.
all.
You're all
Yes,
amazing
you
creators.
too.
Thank you so much. And I'll see you in your streams.
I look forward to it.
Sounds good. Thank you.